You're just in time for In the Market. Listen, have you ever thought about your retirement? Have you wondered why it's important for you to save at that point? Well, that's what we're going to talk about for the next 45 minutes. The Institute of Pension Management, in collaboration with other partners, has organized the first ever annual awards in the pension industry in Kenya. The awards gala dinner will be held on the 10th of November 2017 at the Radisson Blu Hotel. Now, the awards will recognize and award excellence in innovation and service provision to improve the outcomes of both pension funds and the numbers as well. This year's awards will draw hundreds of participants from the pension sector, other financial services sector as well, players, and indeed other industry leaders as well. The awards will bring together the largest gathering of fund managers, custodians, internal and external administrators, actuaries, law firms, auditors, individual schemes, umbrella schemes, occupational schemes, trustees, and approved insurers and other players as well. So you should hope you are going to jump in. Let me introduce my guest to you real quick, beginning from my immediate left. Patrick Kuria, partner, PKF East Africa, representing the judging partner of the Pension Awards. And on my farthest left is Anthony Odhiambo, Chief Executive Officer, Institute of Pension Management, representing the knowledge partner of the Pension Awards. Gentlemen, thanks for making time for us this morning. You know, one of the first question that I always hear people saying is, why is it so important why is it critical in the economy to have this pension sector? Why is it so critical? Because most people tell me, I'll just teach my children, then they'll help me when I retire.
I think, thank you for having us.
Yes.
Your question is very valid, and I think pension sector is one area that has not been taken seriously. And you just had yesterday. Yeah. Even in Parliament yesterday, parliamentarians were asking that even after serving for 5 years only, they need pension. What does that actually communicate to us? It is that people, basically, when they go into employment, they only negotiate what they can see now. We are fast to negotiate what can go into our pockets, but we don't look at the life after. Yeah. So in a nutshell, we need to live after employment. Yeah. And what does that mean? You need to have something to take home with you, an income, a stream of income that you'll have on a daily basis, the same way you used to have when you are working. Yeah. So it is a very critical aspect of the economy. It is in the social aspect of the economy, and basically it is a welfare thing. Mm-hmm. And we are just ensuring that if you have a pension, it means that your livelihood during and after employment is guaranteed.
Okay. Patrick, you are part of the judging partners of Pension Awards, and most people are wondering, so why are you organizing these Pension Awards really? Why are you rewarding people and yet it's for their own good? I mean, if they save, it's really for their own good. Why is this awards being organized?
Okay, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here sharing some insights on the pensions and especially the pension sector. One of the most important reasons why the awards are being organized is to create that awareness in the market, create competitiveness, bring networking among the key sector players, and of course recognize that as a country or as a nation, we need to really bring in the pension or the masses of the country to the pension sector, so that at least we secure their future. Yeah. We realize that in Kenya, the old age poverty and old age dependency is very high. And if we really hammer this idea of people making into pension contributions and participating actively, at least we'll be securing the future of the old people. Mm-hmm. And their future will be guaranteed. Yeah. As Antonio has said, it's a sector we can't ignore. And as a matter of the finance, when you look at the finance industry or the financial sector, it has a key significance in terms of the contribution. The GDP of the finance sector is about 7 trillion in Kenya today, and the pension sector contributes about 1 trillion there and about, which represents about 14%. Yeah. So it's a sector we can't ignore, and we need to really promote it so that at least we have the masses.
Okay. Yeah. And which are the areas you're generally going to award then?
Okay, the areas we are going to award, what we have looked at is, we have looked at the key players in the sector. So we are going to award the various categories, the various players in the sector. One of it will be the best occupational schemes, being part of schemes, being part of the key players in the industry. Yeah. The managers, the custodians, and of course we are going to look at the governance in the aspect of how are these schemes being managed.
Yeah.
So those are some of the key categories that are going to be awarded.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Anthony, Patrick is bringing a very interesting aspect of old age poverty.
Correct.
Is that one of the main reasons why people should save for retirement? Because whenever people start working, the last thing they think about is their retirement. Yeah.
Yes, it is one of the factors that basically should drive us, as Kenyans especially, to save for retirement. But over and above that, I think there should be some self-conscious that your life, as I mentioned earlier, your life need to continue after employment.
Yeah.
So the reason as to why now the Institute of Pension Management, basically one of its own in the country and East Africa is coming in, is to elevate, to create a platform where all the stakeholders basically can hammer home the issues of pension.
Yeah.
Pension need to be taken seriously. As Patrick has mentioned, it is 1 trillion and growing. What does that mean? It means that all the players who are in the sector need to have the requisite information, need to drive the information that needs to go even to the least person on the line in this country, so that they know that their life is dependent on money that they'll generate themselves, not on your children. The perception that, and what you alluded to initially, was that most of the time we take our children to school and say that because I took you to school, you need to take care of my retirement.
Yes.
That's a notion that should actually go away completely. Your retirement is your responsibility. I always say that there are 3 constants in life, and one of the constants is retirement. You either like it or not, you'll definitely have to retire.
It's there.
Another constant is death. Because you'll have to die.
Yeah.
Another constant is to pay your tax to KRA. So among many other things is that pension need to be taken seriously, and we are creating a platform at the Institute of Pension Management so that we bring all the stakeholders, because there's a gap, and that gap needs to be developed, need to be filled in with all the stakeholders on board, just ensuring that we are actually hammering it home, and we get to the scale even of the developed countries where the pension industry support the economy. At the moment, we are supporting the economy, but at a lower level. You know, I got a very interesting story that even employees are asking that they can be paid pension in advance. So you know, it is a very bad situation that we are in, that people do not see their future. We are only seeing now. The aspect that we want to eat everything now should go. I think we just need a total mind shift to ensure that our future is guaranteed. But who can guarantee it? It is us. So the reality is today. Tomorrow is a promise. But if that reality, if you cannot make that promise a reality today, then it won't be there. So it will be a phantom and something that we'll just be dreaming of.
The main reason why that happens is mostly because people always think that I might die any time from now.
Correct.
So is there a system whereby the next of kin gets that money? Because most people are always concerned that I may save as much as this and then I die the next day and then my money just disappears. And you've mentioned it's a lot of money, 1 trillion shillings.
Yes. You know, we live in fear most of the time. And I think, yes, fear, let not our fear overtake us. You don't know when you'll die. I think within the pension industry is that we have a governance structure. And basically, when you're saving for yourself. And measures have been taken to ensure that in case, I'm not saying you're dying, in case you die, definitely your dependents and beneficiaries will benefit from that money. But the overall, the bottom line is, it is for you, your retirement. Because the statistics basically now shows that many people are living longer. You know, people say, I'll die tomorrow, and you never die. 40 years down the line, you're still alive. So what happens? It means if you did not save for those 40 years, you'll be regretting why I did not save. So there are mechanisms, and there's no money that can be lost if you are saving for retirement, and by bad luck, death takes you. So the thing is, mechanisms are there. Your dependents will basically also benefit from your retirement benefits.
All right. Patrick, who are some? You wanted to add something?
Just to add something on what Anthony has said. In short, when you are a pension member in any of the pension schemes, you are supposed to nominate beneficiaries. And these records are normally held by the administrators. So in case of the unfortunate demise or death, the total contributions and the benefits accruing in your account are supposed to be passed on to your beneficiaries. So it's very, very important to just ensure each and every member actually takes that effort to ensure he has the correct dependents nominated, and that information provided to the scheme administrators.
And are you able to change that? Because there's a lot of dynamics in life. One person says, I don't want to see this other person within a few years, and you change. Are you able to change it?
Of course, you have the opportunity to do a change. In case if the change is required, you can always do a change.
Is there any documentation needed, Anthony, to prove some? Because I may decide to take a lady and bring as my beneficiary, but there's nothing to prove that she is with me.
Yes, there are documents that are provided by the administrators,
yes,
the people who administer the scheme. What I would like to add on is that you have the liberty to change your nomination of beneficiary as often as possible.
Okay.
But remember, the choices that you make when you're changing those nomination of beneficiaries, the trustees, at the end of the day, in case of anything that happens to you, they have the overall authority to either change, depending on their investigation and establishing the right dependents and beneficiaries. So it is something that also members, I think they've just taken it for a ride, that as much as you are able to change your nomination of beneficiary, so today you are not in good terms with your spouse, you say, utaniona. So you go and change your nomination of beneficiary to something to somebody else. Then and the unfortunate thing happens, you pass on, and the trustees comes to establish that apart from you actually change your nomination of beneficiary 3 months before your death, then they'll go back because they know your children, they know your spouse, so they have the overall responsibility to alter what your wishes are. But I'll urge members, because this specifically affects members, and it is something that is creating a lot of problem for trustees, where you find somebody has worked for more than 20 years. Within that period, that's the first time you got employed, and the first nominee was either your mother or your father, and so many things. 20 years is a long time. So many things happened. Maybe you got into a relationship and you separated with the lady and there's a child. Remember, this child, when you nominated your mother or father, this child is not in the nomination of beneficiary form. But when you die, the trustees will do their due diligence and find out that you had a child. Then they'll actually crop in the child into the whole aspect of your benefits. So members need to be cautious, they need to be alert, they need to ensure that they are doing the right thing at the right time. Yes.
Patrick, who are you partnering with then? What's their role really in these pension awards?
We are partnering with various key players. We have the communication partner, who is Think Out.
Yes.
Then we have Nation Media as a media partner, and we have some event partner called H&J.
You can jump in as well if you have
and PKF, of course, coming in as a judging partner. So the awards have been is an initiative of the APM, led by Mr. Anthony Odhiambo here.
So what do you intend to achieve, Mr. Anthony, now that you're the one who's leading this?
Good one. You know, this, just to take you back, when the institute basically was launched 4 years ago, not 4 months ago, sorry, it means that I'm getting older. 4 months ago, I think we had 4 pillars that our mandate basically. One was to ensure that the gap that is in the industry in terms of capacity building is actually achieved. And that one we are doing through the professional course that we've basically gotten a curriculum approved by CDAC and TVETA, and already we have ongoing classes. 2, within the training, we are also doing corporate trainings, and most of this is pre-retirement training, because members, if they are not trained about their benefits, many a times they take very uninformed decisions, and you find that people have a lot of money. 1 year, 2 years down the line, that money is gone. So pre-retirement is very core, and we are riding on it to ensure that the membership, all 1,000, over close to 1,400 schemes are trained on pre-retirement. The other thing then was the awards that we are basically on today. And the awards was to create a platform, because it is not just a matter of winning. You know, every little thing that each and every provider, all the stakeholders, I'm looking at it from 3 angles. One is that they are trustees. 2, they are schemes. And 3, they are providers. All these people have a stake in the pension industry. So the award is basically to create a platform where all of us can come together and ensure that we are innovative every year. The thing is innovative and provide excellent service,
Yeah.
so that at the end of the day, the beneficiary is the member. We are looking at the bigger picture. We are not just looking at ourselves, but looking at a member who 20 years down the line, he's worked so hard,
Yeah.
is able to achieve his purpose for working, that is having a regular income in retirement. And all these players, custodians, investment managers, administrators, the regulator, and everybody else have a stake to do. So this is a platform just to ensure that we reward those who are working hard to ensure that members benefit in their retirement.
All right. Patrick, Anthony is bringing in a very interesting aspect of capacity building. And what is the level of awareness out there, if you can gauge, in terms of the pension scheme and the people who are jumping in? Is it that they are not aware, or are they just not careful enough to join, or is it that people are just skeptical, like the usual Kenyans are?
Okay, I think according to me, people are just maybe very skeptical.
Yeah.
When you look at the working class in our nation, and you look at the pension industry, I think the pension industry has only captured about 15% or thereabout. So it means about 85% maybe are aware and ignorant. So they are not taking up the opportunity to invest for their future. So, but I think there have been consultative efforts, especially by the RBA, to at least create awareness, so that at least we are able to nab more people into the pension industry and make them contribute as far as to secure their future. So I think where we stand, we need to even enhance this kind of awareness, such that we are able to bring everyone on board. So I think the awareness bit need to be increased more. So we are able to reach out to these members who are not part of the pension. We realize that maybe the pension is mainly concentrated in the formal sector as in terms of membership, because most of the organizations will have an occupational scheme for their staff, whereby the staff are entitled to join. Maybe the company contributes and the members contribute. But there are structures in place whereby even the informal sector, we have what we call the IPPs, that is individual retirement, individual pension plans, whereby even if I'm working in the informal sector, I'm able to say, hang on, I can save even 20 shillings in a day, and this goes towards my retirement. I can save any amount, even either monthly or daily, and this will continue to either grow my savings, and that will improve the saving levels of individual. And as I said earlier, it is important to secure the future, because we have seen instances whereby people retire and then they go off looking for jobs
Again,
to actually sustain their livelihood, which is not a good thing. When you retire, you're supposed to either be going for holidays or just be home chilling and doing your own things and maybe looking after your family. But not to go and look for odd jobs here and there to sustain your livelihood.
Anthony, compare the Kenyan situation and mostly abroad, say the United States, because I've run into quite a number of tourists who look fairly young, but they say that I'm in retirement, now I'm touring the world.
Correct.
Is it the same thing, or how far back are we, or is it that we have different measures? What's going on? How come there's a bit of a gap there? Because I've rarely seen any Kenyan who tells me that they are retired, now they're touring the world.
There are those who are there, but they are just a fraction. Okay, to bring you up to speed, basically, the thing is that if you look at our replacement ratio, what that means is that what we are taking after work is barely below 30%. What that means, just to do some math, is that if your salary was 100 shillings, it means when you stop working today and you had a retirement benefit plan, you will be living on 30 shillings. Now, that alone, budgeting becomes a problem. Because if you are on 100, you are brought to 30, tell me, will you be able to do, over 70% of what you used to do? You cannot do them.
You cannot.
Now, that's a fact. That's a fact. And these are the awareness that basically we are saying that people need to take responsibility.
Okay. Hold that thought 1 minute, Anthony, because we have a caller online, Mustafa. Mustafa, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead with the comment or question, Mustafa.
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Yes.
At which age?
Yes.
At which age do someone can start getting that pension?
Getting or saving?
Do we pay or we get?
It depends. And are you asking which age you should start saving or which age you will start getting the money?
At which age I should start saving?
Okay.
And at which age, I would just be being helped?
Okay. All right. Thanks, Mustafa.
Yeah.
All right.
And,
yeah.
And I still have another question.
Yes.
Like my grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather, he's those people who make railway, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, he used to get some money before.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays, he's not getting anything. What do you think is happening with that?
Okay. All right. Thanks, Mustafa. All right. Now, Mustafa has two questions. Either of you can take it, but you are finishing your thought on the reason why there's a gap, a difference in terms of saving and your lifestyle. You're earning 100 bob, but now you're living on 30 shillings.
Or even less.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one factor. As I mentioned, that we should take responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, what the employer does, and especially those of us who are privileged to have a scheme,
yeah.
it is that the employer has taken the initiative to set up so that they actually care for your future.
Yeah.
One reality that I can bring to you is that if you are given an opportunity today and your employer tells you, now, I want to see those people who are serious. From this month, I will not do a check-off system, but I'll want each and every one of us, I'll transfer the money to your account, you go write a check of the amount that you want to save for retirement.
Yeah.
Believe you me, out of 10, only 1 or 2 people will come up with the check. The rest will have, once the money hits the account, that's it.
Okay.
What does that mean? Do that person care for himself?
Yeah.
So we need to take that responsibility to care for ourselves.
Yeah.
And what happens in the developed country, it is that life insurance, pension, is key. It has become part and parcel of their life.
Yeah.
They know that I'm actually entering into employment. This employment, the same, I'll go out.
Yeah.
If I go out, I don't want to be a beggar. I don't want to be a liability.
So they come in with the end in sight.
Exactly. They look at the end and say, how do I work towards that end?
Okay.
So that they put measures to ensure that they can come to Kenya, do whatever they do, and we celebrate them. Yeah. Why can't we do the same?
Do the same.
So that's what we need to do.
All right.
Yes.
Patrick, Mustafa brought up two questions. I don't know which one you'd like to handle. The age issue. At what point does he start saving, and at what point does he start receiving his benefits? And then he also said that his grandfather used to get some money because he used to work in the railway, but then all of a sudden it stopped. What happens in that situation? Whichever one of you can pick, whichever question.
I think I'll take the first one.
Yeah. The age limit. Okay.
No, at the start of
when
saving.
to start? Yeah.
Actually, it's advisable immediately you start working and having some coins.
Yeah.
Start thinking about retirement. So I would advise someone immediately you start working and you're getting some cash, start saving as at then.
Yeah.
There is something we call the power of numbers. So a shilling saved today, when you look at it 15, 20 years down the lane, and this shilling is being invested, it will be maybe 3 or 4 shillings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll find that people defer joining pensions. Then you join when it is too late. Even if you start saving high amounts.
Yeah.
If you started when you actually started earning and you started savings little by little, by the end of it, by the time you're retiring, you'll have a very huge accumulation, which will see you far in your retirement time.
Okay.
So maybe an aspect that people don't realize, we have a lot of benefits in terms of contributing to a pension scheme. First of all, there is a tax advantage because up to a maximum of 20, that amount is allowable for deduction as part of pay calculations. So what it means, if I'm contributing to a pension to the shilling up to 20 shillings, 20,000 in a month, when my employer is determining my pay, he'll take my gross pay minus the 20,000, they'll tax the balance. So that's already an advantage. Yeah. And now that advantage, it means you are already getting advantage by contributing to a pension.
Okay.
And immediately that money gets into the pension, it will start earning interest.
Okay.
Another thing is that when that money is accumulated over the years, there is guaranteed that the principal amount can't be lost. What do I mean by saying that? Your total contributions, regardless of the outcome of the economy, will always be guaranteed. The principal contribution will always be guaranteed. Whatever you have contributed is safe.
Okay.
But now it grows with investments.
Investment, yeah.
And there is the multiplier effect, the power of compounding interest.
Yeah. And at what point do you start benefiting?
Okay, you start benefiting when you retire. That's when you're supposed to start benefiting.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
even as you contribute,
Yeah.
there are some other benefits you can get, because you can utilize, you can assign your pension contributions to acquire a mortgage facility with a bank.
Okay.
So
All right.
there is a set limit of about 60% of your accumulated benefits,
Yeah.
which can be assigned so that you can get a mortgage and you can maybe buy a house,
Okay.
or do your own house,
Okay.
where you can maybe live in. So already there are some benefits within as you proceed contributing, but the actual benefit in terms of cash distribution comes at the end of retirement. But you'll find that people shift jobs. So there are provisions. Maybe when you shift employers, sometimes you can get back some of the cash.
Okay. Hold that thought on shifting employers, because it seems to be, there's a lot of interest on this. There's another caller online. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning to you. Go ahead with your comment or question.
My name is Theodore Webuye.
Yes.
I'm a former African employee.
Uh-huh.
I used to work with the Directorate of Civil Aviation
Yes.
during the Jumia Africa Mashariki,
Mm-hmm.
and we were contributing
Okay.
towards the pension.
Yes.
Then it collapsed in 1977.
Okay.
Thank God I'm still living.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to be paid our pension. Tanzanians were paid. Ugandans were paid. What happened to we, the Kenyans?
Okay.
Up to now,
All right.
we're still surviving. Those who are surviving,
Mm-hmm.
like me,
Okay.
I've never seen it. What happened?
Okay. Thanks to you. All right. Now that comes to you, Anthony. And there are two questions now. Mustafa, it's almost related to what Tio is bringing up, because he says, Mustafa, the grandparent used to earn some money. He used to be part of the railway. People installed the railway system. Then at some point it stopped.
Yes.
Tio is saying he used to work with the civil aviation. And then it collapsed in 1977. The guys who they were with, the Ugandans, the Tanzanians were paid, but the Kenyans were not paid.
Correct.
What happens in that situation?
Now, before I basically get to those two,
Yes.
I'll just want to add on what Patrick has said, and just to be clear on when and
At what point you
and
start
at what
receiving?
point you start saving.
Yeah.
You must have started saving yesterday.
Okay.
So long as you get an income, you need to start looking forward to saving for your retirement. Now, currently, the laws basically allows that you can access your retirement benefit up to 100% of your portion and 50% of your employer portion anytime you leave employment, so long as you've not reached age 50. But if you clock age 50, then it is called early retirement. It means that you, depending on the structure of your scheme, you can either take everything, or you can get a third of the total fund, then 2/3 goes into purchasing a pension for you. So that, I believe now is clear.
Yes.
Now, in terms of where they used to work, they've not received their pension. Okay, I won't vouch for Kenya Railways, because that is a scheme on its own.
Yeah.
And I think for him, when he needs to go to the trustees, needs to actually visit the offices of the scheme, just to establish what could have happened. Because I know they were on a pension, and because of so many things that could have happened, I think the trustees at that particular level have a better way to explain what could have happened. So you need to make a visit to the pension scheme offices, so that it can be taken through exactly what could have happened. The same with the civil aviation guy, because even RBA is there to help. He can visit the scheme's offices, or go to Retirement Benefit Authority, so that he can establish the facts as to why this stopped, so that he can be given the reasons as to why, and all that the matters can be settled.
Yeah. Is this one of the main reasons why the Institute of Pension Management is the only one, the only one of its kind in Eastern Central Africa? What do you intend to achieve at the end of this? Or where do you see the pension sector? Because you've just mentioned that there might be some issues, some trustees, where someone has to go and check them. Is that the reason why this establishment exists now?
Yes. There has been a lack of information. Actually, the key thing is lack of proper information with regards to issues of pension. One is that the members themselves, they've not taken it seriously. Just to give you an example, in any scheme calls for an AGM, annual general meeting, which is a members' meeting, many of the members do not attend these meetings.
Yeah.
And you'll find that a member do not attend this meeting and is returning in 1 month. At that particular time now, that's when it starts running helter-skelter.
Yeah.
So what happens? So members, I'm actually talking to members directly, that members, if you are a member of a scheme, please take matters of scheme very serious. Number 2 is that the trustees, yes, they've been given that responsibility. As the institute, we'll want to upskill, we'll want to ensure that they are actually walking on the right path, because over and above their trusteeship, there are other things that they do. So the institute basically is there to offer that platform, just to ensure that all the stakeholders within the industry and without the industry are having the right information, are doing the right thing, are making sure that members benefit from all that they do in their small way.
Okay.
As I said, the ultimate is to ensure that you and I, when we step out of employment, you are happy. We can do the travels without any hitches.
Okay.
That's the key thing.
All right. Patrick, what measures have been put in place to ensure fairness during this judge? Because I think there's an award coming up tomorrow, right?
Yes.
So how are you going to make sure this is fair and independent, the judging?
Okay, that's where we stand in as the judging partners. The key role of the judging partner is to oversee the whole award. And the key mandate is to ensure at least we have identified, selected the judges who have been involved in judging the awards, and we have checked their credibility, and we have assessed what we call the conflict of interest.
Okay.
So we make all judges sign indemnity forms, conflict checks forms. So having done that, as independent judges, we get nominations direct. They don't go through the organizers. They come direct to us. We organize them, we arrange them, and forward this to the judges. Immediately that is done, and the judges have actually done their scoring. Those scorings come back to us, and we call a judges meeting to mediate on scores, harmonize on scores, and after that we determine who are these key winners. Okay. So we come in as independent judges to assist in the process to ensure there is fairness. And for sure I can put to that has already happened, and the judging process has already been done. And now we are looking forward to the event tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. Anthony, the big night is tomorrow. What are we looking forward to?
We are looking to a glamorous, interesting, the first inaugural pension award in Kenya and East Africa. I think this is an exciting moment for me because being the first, the pension industry has never had any of this kind. And I think we are in the right space, the right time. And we are inviting all of us, the people who are touched, the people who believe that they touch lives through pension, to actually come and celebrate with the winners. And those who did not actually do the application, they are also invited, just to ensure that we move. The train has already left the station, and basically we ask everybody to be on board, because the bigger picture is for the member. It is not for the institute. But this is a platform that has come at the right time. They said that you can run away from an invading army, but you cannot run away from an idea that its time has come. And basically this is an idea that its time has come, and we basically need now to actualize that idea. And it is the reality. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. And for the winners, they should celebrate humbly. Let not the winning get into their heads. We don't want pride. Basically, they should actually now build on their achievement to ensure that next year it is even much better.
All right.
Yes.
As we come to an end, Patrick, a word of advice to the members. Having seen all these issues that are going on, what would you tell the members who intend to join as the new members and the existing members as well?
Okay. If you're there, you're working, and actually you have not managed to be a pension member, I would urge you to join like yesterday, so that at least you secure a future. As I had already indicated, is that we want to eliminate this issue of old age dependency, old age poverty. And one of the way to do this is actually through pension. So I would urge all members, wherever you're working, be it in the formal sector or in the informal sector, spare that time to understand what is my future,
Okay.
and how can I secure my future.
All right.
And the way to secure the future is through pension.
All right, Anthony, final word.
We are in a good space.
Yeah.
I think the thing is we need to take our life seriously, and pension is part and parcel of our lives. I would like and encourage each and every person who has an income to think of his or her life now, not tomorrow. Don't leave your children to be your retirement package, because it won't happen. They have their issues, they have their own troubles, and I think the best way to ensure that you retire humbly and make sure that you live the life that you want, it is you to take responsibility.
All right.
And most of the stakeholders, please, the pension industry is big. Let us play our part.
All right.
Thank you.